What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I turned 40. And this is how I'm spending my time. It's 2:30 a.m. I just came up with a brand new idea for a series that is going to get us both involved, you and me. So it's called Fixing Your Grade. What's going to happen is this. There's going to be a form that you guys are going to fill out. And once I pick an entry, I will go ahead and give my 2 cents to help you get a better result. And more importantly, find any issues with your pipeline. It's not just like the grade. We're also going to be looking at the node tree. And my goal is to kind of just see what can we do to streamline your process, make you grading professionally and better, efficiently. And most importantly, we're going to be sharing love. Okay, so I'm going to have you share your website, your Instagram handle, whatever have you, whatever is your main source of reaching out to clients. I'm going to give you a shout out when I work on your specific grade. And the idea in this series is not to roast anyone, okay? This is to uplift everyone. Criticism and all those things are great. What's even better is lifting people up and putting them on a path to success. It gets me excited because this creates a really nice flywheel where you tell me your issues, I try to help you, and then we just keep that momentum going, right? And then we put more eyeballs on your personal brand, and hopefully that will bring you more clients, bring you more work, help you get to that next level. So that's the entire idea. And it just makes me happy to kind of start my 40s with that. It just good karma, good vibes. We're gonna jump right in. For those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like Adidas, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make no just straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. We're going to be starting off with the entry that I got in our Cosverse community. So this came from Michael, and he's going for Alice in Wonderland look, which is this shot right here. And this is what he ended up with. And when you just see it back to back, it looks pretty flawless. Like, it looks really good. This is the Rec 709 that he started working with. He got it from RapidGrade. The plan that he's on, he can't get log footage, so he's working off of Rec 709, which is that much more impressive, right? He's taking this, ending up here, which is very close. So to an untrained eye, this is a perfect match. This is really good. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you're watching this show and it just goes from here to here, you'll never notice. My job here is to pinpoint any micro adjustments that we have to make. So I'm already looking at it. I'm going to talk about it. And then I'm going to talk about the node tree afterwards. So this is the shot. The way I scan these images, okay? So I want to kind of like give you that, right? Like I want you to like sit in my head when I'm doing these things. And I feel like this is just so much more beneficial than anything else that you'll watch online. How am I seeing this? How am I breaking this down if I want to create this look? So the first thing that I'm seeing, I'm just going to start like kind of riffing, like how I'm feeling, okay? The vignette that is happening here is sort of like an oval like this, okay? So everything else falls off from that point on. And you can see that, right? So like all of a sudden, I'm just like, okay, I'm focusing on this window. Overall colors, obviously, if we look at the waveform and our vector scope, everything is living in the middle, you know, a little bit on the cooler side, a little bit on the greenish side. And then if you look at the waveform, you know, we have like a lot of room up top, okay? But there's a big thing that's happening here because when you have an image that's log and then you try to keep your highlights protected like what they're doing, is very different than when you start working off of a Rec 709 image where your image was kind of like pushed and then you try to pull it down. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. Like you see that flatlining that's happening here because our Rec 709, this right here, see, it's like maxed out, it's topped off. Then when you try to emulate like these highlights, they're not the same. You see like how organic everything is here? Because in log, there's just, and maybe they're shooting in raw or log, but there's so much information that they have a lot of room to play with. You don't. So my goal here with this series is to tell you what to do and when to back off and don't go for that. So the entire, you know, idea behind this particular episode is called Stop Ruining Your Highlights. Anytime you're gonna like take something that's gonna be flatlined and try to like pull it down, listen to this. If you're working with an image that is Rec 709, basically 6-7 stops of dynamic range, By throwing DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Wide Gamut is supposed to work with like 30 plus stops of dynamic range. By throwing that on to your image, you can't just take a baked 8 dynamic range footage and turn it into 30 stops of dynamic range. You can't do that, right? So same thing here. Let's just not try to create some depth where there is none, right? Because it's just going to make it look awful and crummy. And that's exactly what's happening here. And then the second thing that's happening is like, look at the color that we're seeing here in the highlights and look at the color that we're seeing in the highlights here. So if I were to punch in and show you these highlights, they're a little bit on the yellowish green side, right? Like that cyanish thing that's happening. I mean, I can even go right here, qualifier, hover over, and you can see exactly where that is sitting, like somewhere around here. Whereas like if we come to our shot and we go here, that sits way further down here. It's not over here. It's over here. Okay. So that is a really big difference. That is just something like, look at this. That is something that just constantly jumped out to me. And now if I go to this shot and I go to their highlights, very, very different spot. Okay. Like look at their spot and look at ours. So that's a pretty big difference. So let's try to fix that. So the way I would do it is we'll basically pull up this shot right here, and then we'll just go close to something like this. So I can see the highlights here. I can see my highlights here. So the first way I'm going to show you to attack this will be your highlights in your primaries, okay? And that is really, really simple. So if we just get these shots pretty close to each other, and if I just go here and if I start doing this, you're seeing like how I'm adding that like right there, that warmth, right? Like I'm bringing that in. Obviously, we can pull this down a little bit to just kind of ease off and then keep going. Like, you know, we can only do so much here, okay? We can only do so much before we start like actually ruining the image. But if I were to bring it now closer, look at this and look at this. How big of a difference we made. That's like really, really huge, guys. I mean, we can pull it up a little bit. So like this to that, like look at how big of a difference that is. That's even closer. Like, look at this, okay? So that's like one way to do it. There's like a much cleaner, better way to do it. But this is good. This is really, really good, okay? So that's one way that you will attack that. And now our highlights are looking much better. If I do before and after, they're just like overall looking a lot cleaner. See, a much more organic, better way would be to do it with your custom curves. You can uncheck this and just kind of go in there, a specific channel, and then try to match it as close as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool, RapidGrade. You can check it out. Link is going to be in the description, and I'm going to kind of just show you how easy and clean this approach is. I think we're going to get a much better result than we got with highlights right here. So it's breaking it up, our zones to blacks, undertones, midtones, highlights, and then whites. So once you drop that on, basically it's set to DaVinci Wide Gamut by default, but that's not what's happening here. Our image is actually Rec 709. So we have to change that to Rec 709 and then Rec 709 right here, okay? Now that this happened, if I come down to my highlights and whites, majority of my image is actually sitting in highlights, not whites. I can mess around with whites and you're seeing like how little of a difference that it's making. But if I were to reset that and start making changes to my highlights, you're seeing how gentle this effect is. The other one was kind of like breaking up a little bit, and it would break up way more if you apply it to multiple different shots. This does like a very gentle, I mean, you can even see the curve, like how smooth it is, and it's gonna create that effect and give you that much of an organic feel to like, you know, where you want to go. So I'm gonna use my panel, but you're gonna see the changes that we're making here. Okay, so let's start with our reds and kind of lift it up. Let's go to our blues and kind of drop it down, because like that's really what's the bulk of like that thing is. With our greens, we don't have to do much. Keep dropping the blue. And then red can live somewhere around here. And if I come out and if I do before and after, what a big change, right? And now if we come down to something like that and look at it, like it's looking really, really nice. I mean, what else can we do? We can make it a little bit more neutral, to be honest with you. Something like that. Now come back, pull out, go here, look at it. And if I come out now, hide my curves, and now do before and after, you're seeing like how natural this is, like from this like gunky-ish, like, greenish cyan tint that we had to like where we are now, and how well it works. And remember I said like you don't need to like really choke your highlights. So if we actually want to pull it up and kind of do that thing that was with the original image, if we go right here and look at this, this starts to make it look a lot more natural. So like, see, we're giving it some punch. Like, sure, it's not here, but once again, we're not working with logs, so let's not ruin our highlights. Okay, that's the name of the video. Like, look at how close we are now. Just look at it. Like from this right here to that right there, it's 100% a match. And this is how I would attack this specific issue. Let's look at the node tree and talk about this. Okay, so he's doing the input device transform, great. Output device transform, great. Balance, good. Saturation, he's keeping it separate. Personally, I like to do balance, like all of it in one node. But if you want to keep it separate, from that perspective, it's okay. DCT-LCC, whatever that is that he's using, hue versus sat, like whatever. So, that's something he's using. This is incorrect. I wouldn't put my windows after RapidGrade. I would, because RapidGrade is like a heavy hitter. Like this is where the entire look is created. Okay, so he actually used one of the base looks from RapidGrade to build his look, and he just like went off of that. So that needs to be uninterrupted right before the ODT. Okay, so that's the entire idea. Like you do not want to make any manipulations, after your actual look DNA, your actual look. Leave that be right before like the output device transform. So it is basically as uninterrupted and as clean as possible. So these windows, I would just put them right before this. Okay, so that's like the only structure that I would change. Plus, like, by looking at this node tree, it looks like there is no structure to how Michael works. He kind of just builds his node trees as he goes. I don't recommend that. Even if you guys want to keep the node tree really lean and mean, let's just say we have a balance node, then we have an adjustment to that balance node. That adjustment node is amazing. It comes in handy if your client comes back, makes some suggestions to an overall image or something. You can make those changes in your adjustment. Then I'll have corrector nodes, right? So like I can have a node, some Windows based nodes, right? I can have magic mask node. I can have a node for depth map or something like that. So I can have those planned out, and they can stay the same from project to project and from like, scene to scene. Then that way I can start building my muscle memory when I'm working to just be like, okay, let's just jump to that node and do that one thing, which is what I'm not seeing here. So those are like the suggestions that I would make for this particular shot. Now, I have a bonus sequence that I want to kind of just share with you guys. So this one is right here, and Andreas is using RapidGrade's nightclub one-click look, and then he's just building, and his goal was to like do the entire thing with like only 3 nodes. So he's keeping his node tree very, very tight, and he was like very happy with like the way how consistent the grade was from shot to shot. And I agree. I mean, it's very, very consistent for like how, like, I mean, this looks really phenomenal, right? Like, I mean, look at this. It's a really, really pretty look. And for it to be done like this, I mean, that's the power of like these really good third-party tools. It's really hard to do a similar thing inside Resolve. Whether you buy mine or somebody else's, it's like there's a reason why big companies have their own concoctions and they're using that, or they're using third-party plugins, because it just helps out so much to get there, especially in this day and age. So with Andreas, input device and output device transform is like how it's supposed to be. He's doing his exposure. He's bringing in RapidGrade here. Once again, I would make RapidGrade my last node before the ODT. So I would move the RapidGrade right here, and then he's using skin juice and he's using a QT charts. The skin should be before RapidGrade anyways. Why? Because we want to make skin manipulation from a cleaner image, not after like grading it. Okay. And then QT charts is not necessary because that's redundant. You already got QT charts times 100 in RapidGrade. Okay. So you have a better version of that. You can just use RapidGrade. So you can basically cut out this node right here. You don't even need this because we have a much superior version of that in RapidGrade. I mean, you can use QT skin juice like if you're just comfortable using a certain thing. But what I'm saying is like we can take these two out and we can do exactly all of that and then some in RapidGrade. So that now you're down to like only 2 nodes. So if you want to cut more time, you can do that. And then it's just going to be that much more consistent and more efficient because you're going to be making manipulations in 1 node instead of like jumping around in 2 or 3 different nodes. So that would be like my feedback for you. And guys, that said, go right here. Here's our form. Okay. So it's in the description. Basically just like upload a raw image. So raw or log, right? Like upload a log image and then tell me which profile is being used. So is it slog3, blah, 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 whatever it is. So then I can recreate it on my end. Give me a Rec 709, just apply the Rec 709 and like, upload that image as well. Then upload a final image. If you have a reference, definitely drop in the reference. Alice in Wonderland reference was like was super helpful because if he just said Alice in Wonderland and didn't throw a reference in there, like I couldn't really have known one-to-one to like what exactly he was looking for. So drop that in. If you don't have a reference, if you're going for a specific look like Andreas, he just like didn't really have a specific goal with the look. He just went and created something. He wanted everything to match really well, blah, blah, blah. And he wanted to use less nodes. That's okay. Then don't drop anything in here. Drop your final grades right here. And then a screenshot of the node tree because you saw both of these examples. We were able to like help consolidate a lot of it and find specific problems that we can, either tighten up the node tree or just get the flow even better. And then 1 sentence explaining like what the goal was, what were you going for, what's the intended look that you were trying to achieve. Put in your name and handle. So whatever you want to go by, whatever you want me to mention, and then just drop a link either to your website or your social media. We want to send traffic to like whatever you want to be represented by. And that's what goes there. So if you guys outside of that have any specific suggestions for this series or just any other future videos, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to check out RapidGrade or any of my other products, links to all of that is in the description. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, fam.